for a limited time. All right. All right, everybody. Good evening. My name is Gary Lewima. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to a very special program brought to you by the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce, Black Men and Entrepreneurship. My name is Gary Lewima, as I said before. I'm the founder of First Step Legal Solutions. I am a corporate attorney. I've been a member in the chamber for about 3 years now, and I will serve as your host and moderator this evening. During Black History Month, the chamber tends to focus on our Black male entrepreneurs and their contributions. Their stories regarding the impactful contributions Black men make in our society sometimes goes untold or overshadowed. Who knows about Reginald Lewis, Esquire, the first African-American to build a billion-dollar business? Or Warren H. Wheeler, who established Wheeler Airlines, the first Black-owned and operated air service in the US. At the chamber, we honor those that came before us and celebrate our community of entrepreneurs, right here in Broward. Tonight, we have two business owners who share this entrepreneurship journey as we dive into this evening. Our first panelist is Mr. Brian Cunningham. He is the VP and founder of Business Briefings LLC, where he serves as the VP of Business Development. Brian is also a board member of the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce and a serial entrepreneur. He was formerly the Entrepreneurship Center Director of the Urban League of Broward County, where he provided strategic leadership for disenfranchised business owners. As such, he was able to deploy over $3 million in small business capital across the state of Florida and provided technical assistance to minority and small business owners. And our second panelist for this evening, Dr. Anthony Atkins. He was born and raised in Plantation, Florida, Broward County native. He graduated from the University of Florida in 2008, receiving a Bachelor of Science in Community Health. I see the Gators chomping over there.
Yes.
He went on to receive his Doctor of Dental Surgery from Meharry Medical College School of Dentistry, where he graduated in 2014. He regularly continues his education in dentistry and business to be effective and skilled as possible. He is a member of the ADA, AAID, AGD, and the AACD. And you're going to break down with those. Dr. Adkins has the goal to consistently improve the skill set and provide better dental services. He also enjoys community service and participates in mission trips and events, both locally and internationally. In his spare time, Dr. Atkins reads and is a huge movie buff. And thank you everyone for being here and giving us a warm Zoom welcome for our panelists. So we're just gonna go ahead and center around it. There are some participants in this event who are high school students, predominantly Black young men, who are looking at this event as, as a way to, in a sense, peer into the future and get some insight as to different goals and dreams that they have. I just want to keep that in mind as well. So starting off, just did a little bit of research, and I found that only 3.8% of dentists are Black. And on the financial sector, only about 4% of financial professionals are ranging from a variety of jobs, let alone owners of business investment firms, private equity, and in fintech, only 4% are Black as well. In these two spaces, one serving the health in our community, with the physical health in our community, the other serving the financial health in our community. How did you find representation in your industries, and how did that affect your path?
You go first, Doc.
Sure. I think that, for my story is a little different. My father is a medical doctor, so I had the honor and privilege to grow up with, a model of it being possible in front of me. And I know that propelled me in ways that, I can't understate, by any measure. That being said, I went to a historically Black institution for dental school. And so again, I was honored and privileged to be around Black professors, Black leaders, Black doctors. So it's really us and Meharry Medical College and Howard, the two Black dental schools in the country. I don't remember the statistics exactly, but I want to say around 70% of the dentists in the country come from Meharry. So it's a pretty high likelihood if you are seeing a dentist that is Black that they are, hailing from my alma mater. I said that to say, after graduating from dental school, I don't see people that look like me very often. And I value and cherish the friendships I made while at Meharry. And I was very thankful that I was at an institution that allowed me to, see that as the norm, because after leaving there in 2014, I was quickly brought back to reality that there are not very many of us in this industry. And it, for me, is motivating in the sense that the education that I received at the Meharry Medical College was top notch. At no point have I ever felt that I wasn't prepared or was inadequately prepared or wasn't able to keep up with anyone from any other institution. And motivating in the sense that I know that no one can serve my community like I can. Mm-hmm. And I am still young enough to believe some of the crazy stuff that I do. And time will tell if that's actually true or not. But I do have that belief that you can't care more than I do. You can't. And studies have been done to show that there are still healthcare disparities in our country, both on the medical side, on the dental side, and the banking side. There are disparities that exist that can only be addressed, by people like you, Mr. Lewima, like you, Ms. Jarrett, like you, Mr. Cunningham. We are needed.
Mr. Cunningham?
Likewise, my path's a little different. I'm from inner city of Columbus, Ohio, up north. Single, raised by a single parent mother, 2 children, and it was more survival mode. Mom did the best that she could do, and she instilled us, some hard work ethic. Watching her grow in business and different things that she was doing in politics, surrounding myself with my uncle and some other folks in the neighborhood and the community. Then I made a decision. I was kind of out in the streets as a teenager. So at one point, I made a decision that I needed to do something positive. And I can tell you where the entrepreneurial spirit started. Mm-hmm. We have this place called the Ohio State Fair. Okay, back in the day, you go to the fair, you take your date to the fair. It's my first date. I think it was like 13 or 14. And I had a date, my first date. And I was going to get my allowance. My mom was bringing home an allowance. And the tickets were paid for, everything was paid for. And my allowance was, I forgot, it was $10 every week. So I get my date, we get there, and you had to pay for each ride. And I think the ride was, 50 cents for both of us to get on. And I got on and gave it all back to me in quarters, the change. And so we got on the ride and I flipped around and all the change fell out of my pocket. So I was financially embarrassed, needs to say. And I just, at that moment, I decided, I gotta take matters in my own hand. I mean, we've always, a little kid, we've always shoveled snow, cut grass, whatever we had to do to hustle to be able to, offset, instead of, coming to my mother, asking for help. And to the point that my brother and I have, are really, my brother's a serial entrepreneur as well. And so that was ingrained in us. And then I just surrounded myself with folks, and I watched people's lifestyle. And I always ask someone about their lifestyle. So what do you do? What's your occupation? Oh, I own my own business. If you go down to Fort Lauderdale off of the Intercoastal and see those big yachts, most of the people are business owners or not even corporate execs. They own their own business. So one thing I knew, I said, well, I know we can generate wealth doing that way, as well as legacy business as well. So that's where my came from. And then being at the Urban League, and prior to that, I was living in Ohio. I had my own business, real estate development. I was a realtor. I did a lot of things there, construction. And so that inspired me. But once I got to Florida, I had to get back into the job force, and I knew it was going to be temporary. But thank God, the Urban League helped create a platform for me where we developed some partners in finance within DC and some other organizations. And I was able to sharpen my skills and develop that program. But also, I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. So I needed to get back out there and feel what it's like to be an entrepreneur. If I'm preaching it, teaching it, I need to live it as well. So I can honestly tell you, gentlemen, that there comes a point in your business career as an entrepreneur that you're going to get on your knees and you're going to pray, you're going to ask help from a higher power. And so that right there, it's the will that you've got to overcome. And that right there is an accomplishment. You got to keep plugging. And I tell people every day, it's about moving the chains. You ain't gotta get a touchdown or moving the chains or a base hit. Be consistent. And so that's what it's been. And the chamber's been very helpful in working with Dr. Atkins. We've been able to help some folks in the community gain some additional access to capital.
It's great things, great things, beautiful. You did kind of touch on this a little bit, Mr. Cunningham, but you could chime in, but I'm gonna let Dr. Atkins answer this one up first. But when did you realize you wanted to pursue your career, in this case in dentistry, and what encouraged you to do so? Was there any spark, any moment as far as this is exactly what I want to do?
Yes. While I believe a sophomore or junior at the University of Florida, I needed to sign up for an externship. And so I reached out to a few contacts. I ended up in Sunrise here in South Florida with a company at the time that was called Access Health Solutions. That company was founded by a few Black male doctors here in Broward County. Dr. Nelson Adams was one of them. Dr. James Brookins was another one. Both graduates of Meharry Medical College also. Didn't know it at the time. Speaking to them, asking about their journey. Quite honestly, at the time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And in speaking with them, they both gave me access to their contacts list and said, call them, tell them I told you to call and ask questions. And so I did. I picked up their Rolodex, which, I don't feel old, but that was they actually picked up the Rolodex and went through their Rolodex and started calling numbers and shadowed a lot of different people, CEOs of health clinics, pharmacists, doctors in different fields. And I shadowed Dr. Rashonda Gaines, professor at Nova Southeastern University. She's my mentor. She's still a professor there now. She's an awesome person. And I went and shadowed her. At the time, I didn't feel that I was prepared to go into dental school. My plan was to go into dental hygiene first, quite honestly. And after speaking with Dr. Gaines, she was like, Doc, and that's how she addressed me at that time. Go for it. You have what it takes. Just go for the gusto. If you're gonna do it, do it. And I did. And so she pushed me to just kind of go for it. And I got a whole lot of rejection letters. I applied to 12 schools. I got 10 rejection letters the day after you were allowed to get rejection letters. I got one interview at University of Florida, and they rejected me pretty quickly after the interview. I got another interview for Meharry Medical College, and it wasn't for a dental school. It was for a post-baccalaureate spot. So it's more or less, for the people that are listening, it's a feeder program where you get a master's. And if you meet the criteria, you are not guaranteed into the dental school, but it gives you an advantage into getting into the dental school. And I got waitlisted for the post-bac spot. So I got waitlisted for the program that you get preferential treatment to get into dental school. And I got a call one day, and I think someone must have dropped out. I don't know what the situation was, but I went from being waitlisted in the post-bac spot to, they asked me if I wanted to start dental school in a few weeks, and I said yes. And went from waitlisted on the post-bac spot to, Mom, I need to find out how much apartments cost in Nashville. And so things happen really quickly. And I still work with Dr. Rashonda Gaines. I was in her chair 2 weeks ago for my dental checkup. She's the one that I traveled to Jamaica with for mission trips. So I stay in contact with her, and I'm, very thankful and grateful for her influence and, pushing me in the direction that I headed in.
Definitely. And Mr. Cunningham, I'm just going to tailor the question a little bit because you're a bit of a special case. You're a serial entrepreneur. But can you give us any spark as far as your first business? Doesn't have to be on any scale, but as far as it will be your childhood after you lost all your quarters, or later on in life when you started a more official business, and as well, can you touch on to the business that you're predominantly conducting now?
Great. So, gosh, I think the motivation is that I never wanted my income to be limited. So I always had something on the side, even when I worked. But I think the point came to I really got serious. I got downsized, gosh, back in the early 2000s. And I always said I was going to work my business full time, and was up late one night watching Carlton Sheets, how to buy a house with no money down. And I signed up for the course, paid the money, and actually did it better to the T. And I bought the house, no money down. I flipped it, and I made $27,000 off that deal. And at that point, I also enrolled into a business class boot camp, similar to what we do at the Urban League. And I was a participant in there, got my business plan, got my projections, and became, real estate. It was called Empire Investment Group. And we bought property. And a lot of those guys in my class, and folks in my class that were in that years ago, are plumbers, electricians, those type of folks, masonry people. And I still count on them to work on the properties back in Ohio where I'm at. So that's the motivation. I think that was the time I made the most money during the boom, during the crisis. We made a lot of money. We did a lot of things. And then, life changes. And sometimes you go through a life-changing event, you get back into the workforce. But I always had that entrepreneurial spirit. Even in the workforce, I approached my job like it was my book of business. I knew I was an entrepreneur working inside a corporation or organization. So I applied those same skills in, and I think that's what helped me excel. And at that point, I think I'm going to have a real estate business, a construction business. We did roofing. We did I even fell off a roof, broke my foot, but that didn't stop me. So now I'm on the development side, providing finance on the projects. Now I'm going out and inspecting the properties, looking at the deal, putting everything together. So I think those are the things that help me put it together. And knowing this market down in South Florida, I didn't realize it's a big market, but it's a group of people, different pockets of different folks that you're going to run into time and time again. I think that's what helped me prepare. I've only been in business. This is my first year. As of January 1, I've been in business one whole year, officially full time. So, I've been out the gate, got a couple pretty good contracts as a business consultant. What I do is business strategy, help small businesses, help big businesses, level businesses scale their business, access to capital, provide resources. We've got a company right now where we're walking and bringing them down from Cincinnati and showing them how to get started in this market, and strategizing how they can position their company within this market. And so that's what we do. That's how we attract new business. We help folks get their certifications, a lot of things that business services that a lot of folks don't understand that they need. And we don't make the business, we enhance it. I like to think of myself as, and Doc can understand this, I am your primary care physician as it relates to your business. So I check the pulse, I check the vitals, and, I prescribe, what needs to happen in order for this business to grow. And resources like yourself and other resources through the chamber have been able to leverage and help these businesses grow. We've got one business that we help. This young lady just got in this year, Forbes magazine, 30 and under, top 30 and under in the country entrepreneurs. And she's raised, we're in a second seed stage of funding, helping her raise $1.2 million to help grow her business investment capital. So that's the things that we're doing now. So I never thought I would be doing this. I always thought I was going to be a businessman, but I didn't know. Carrying a briefcase to school and all that.
Definitely. And in both those stories, I did see a consistent theme, persistence. There's a man by the name of Dennis Kimbrough. He wrote The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And the first trait that Black millionaires have, of course, is persistence. and pushing through, whether it be denial letters or whether it be falling off the roof, breaking your foot, or things necessarily not working out. But as long as you're consistent, you know. And another theme as well is adapting as well, because we do have some young people in the audience. A lot of time in the day of social media, you got to have this by 18, 21, 25, 30, and just not knowing, comparing yourself to other people, as opposed to just adapting to your situation and finding the biggest meaning of success. So definitely great stories that you guys are sharing there. And within that, another trait of an entrepreneur is entrepreneurs able to solve a problem, right? So in your case, Dr. Cunningham, sorry, Mr. Cunningham, getting mixed up. In your case, Mr. Cunningham, you're helping people connect to capital, correct?
Absolutely. Solving the problem is, a lot of times, business owners, as a business owner, you struggle to share your vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell folks that I'm emotionally unavailable because, most folks are very passionate about their business, but they've got to step back aside and they've got to look at it from a business perspective and a profitability perspective. And sometimes they're so close to business that they're passionate, but they can't do that. So I can come in and provide that service. The other thing about persistence, I think I learned in multi-level marketing how to really overcome those challenges and help those folks. And so if I can solve just one problem in your business, if I can help you do that or help you look at it in a certain way, even with Dr. Adkins, I would like to say that he is one of my clients. And we helped solve some problems in his business that he was wrestling with. And so to see him flourish now, I'll tell you what, if you ever go there, sit in that chair and lean back. He's got a flat screen on the ceiling with the remote that you can do. I think he's the most tech savvy dentist I've ever worked with, I've ever dealt with. So I just, but that's how that works.
Yeah. Oh man. And Dr. Atkins, as far as yourself as well, what need did you see to fill in the community in terms of starting your business? Because as a dentist, you could have worked at several different medical facilities, other dentist offices, but what sparked you to fill in that need to provide dental services in Broward County?
The goal was always to come back home. Quite honestly, it's I am a professional. I have put in years of work, but I'm a servant first. And I genuinely feel that way. And it's one thing to say it, but for the people that have been in my office, and my team included, I think people feel that when they're with us. I am a servant. And so that's why I came back home. I wanted to serve my community. And I knew I could do it with a certain splash of flavor that no one could. I come at things differently. I think a little bit off the wall sometimes, but some people can appreciate that. One of the things that Mr. Cunningham started with was that really resonated with me was being able to take your emotions at it and see a problem. As someone whose background is not in business, my background is dentistry. I'm learning business. And quite honestly, between starting a practice and the world being flipped upside down via the pandemic, I'm getting a crash course in problem solving, in staffing, in hiring, in firing, in financing. And, those classes aren't in dental school. Those aren't prerequisites to become a dentist. And so I'm learning as I'm going. We acquired a second practice in the end of 2020. What's this, 2022, 2020. So we have two practices now that I'm learning how to manage and learning, my limitations, which is very important because I wasn't aware that I had limitations until I started losing my mind. That, part of business is admitting to yourself that there is a problem, one, and that you need help to address it. Because if you can't admit it, you can't address it. And as Mr. Cunningham said, he pulled me out of a pretty sticky situation already, and he doesn't know it, but I'm gonna be leaning on him again sometime in the near future. That's a conversation we'll have later. but it's being, as he said, emotionally unavailable, but in tune with the consumer
Mhm.
and in tune with the business and what it needs.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Great answers, great responses. But I would like to take a moment to recognize our sponsor, Comerica Bank. Definitely, again, thank you for sponsoring this event. And we have a representative from Comerica Bank, Coach Mo. Do you have any words to say? Would you like to say a few words?
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, the Chamber, for bringing this initiative. Working with you has been awesome. In my role, I'm responsible for assisting community organizations to provide educational resources and technical assistance on behalf of the bank. And I heard Mr. Cunningham speaking about access to capital. And we all know at the banks, everyone's not bank ready. So I like to always say, where the gaps are filled with banks and who you bank with, it comes from how we're also providing money to what we call CDFIs and micro lenders that are there to help bridge the gap until you are actually bankable. So some of these conversations are very important. Listen to what they're saying as it relates to persistence. I hear people think all the time that their product is the number one product, or their service is the number one product, but they haven't, figured out their true target audience. They don't know the true insides of their community and what people really need. So I really think the information both of them are sharing is very much needed. I appreciate both of you all for the transparency. A lot of people don't like to come and really tell people how it is. And I think that's how we grow is, we come, we express what we've really been through, because social media makes entrepreneurship sometimes look like it's just an easy walk in the park, and it definitely isn't. So thank you. And thank you again for the Chambers for allowing Comerica to sponsor and raise expectations in the communities we serve.
Definitely. Thank you, Comerica, for sponsoring again. Coach Mo, great seeing you as well. I remember seeing you at the last event. And thanks again. Thanks for those words. I would like to ask one last question, then we're going to open it up to the audience for any questions that they may have. What impact would you like to have throughout your career or throughout your ventures, doing, of course, in dentistry or in the financial and business consultant space?
You go first, Doc.
You got it, Mr. Cunningham.
I know that was a big one. Because I did see, I'm going to put you out there, Mr. Cunningham. I did see that you're able to put out over $3 million in the small business space for, people in our community. And just, wanted to expound as far as the impact you wanted to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. So I'm contracted with the National CDFI, which is the National Development Corporation. They've been around since 1969, came through the 60s, and one of the late Kennedys helped start the fund. And so they're a national CDFI. We do with real estate development, new market tax credits. My specialty is in small business lending. I have the state of Florida for small businesses, access to capital. We do, like she said, the young lady from the bank said that we do provide technical assistance, and we get the businesses bankable. We get them ready. We take a business and we help them scale. But my impact is to go through the community, see the impact. Okay, we got this person, we got this young lady, capital hair care product, and now her product is in all the Elegant Beauty Supply hair care stores. Now it's going into Target. And so to see that, and to see that, hey, we help finance that deal, or to see a building or a home in this area, in the Fort Lauderdale, South Florida area, to say, okay, we help develop and to finance that, to see a dentistry move and expand and acquire other businesses, and say, okay, we were helped into scaling that business. That's what gives me the chills. Helping you grow, and to see you give back in the community, and to see that business hire folks and create jobs and creating impact. This is about social enterprise and pretty much for me. And so that's what it is. If you help someone get what they want or what their will is to get, you're automatically going to succeed in getting the things that you're looking to get. So that's my motto.
That's great. Great answer.
Yeah, Mr. Cunningham hit it on the head. The things he was speaking on blend right into what I was thinking and feeling is that, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I'm a dentist. I'm a damn good dentist, and I will continue to do better. But the lasting effect for my business won't be the dentistry. Yes, I'll make people smile, but the lasting effect will be the jobs that I create, the other dentists that I employ, the people that I employ here, the teams that I build here, the properties that I am able to acquire. That's the lasting effect, is the ripples, so to speak, from taking the leap of faith. And that's what really, like Mr. Cunningham, gives me the chills. Yeah, I do love dentistry. It's awesome being able to make people smile and feel good and confident about themselves. But the stuff that, like, I'm up at night walking around looking crazy in the middle of the night is okay, I can hire people that have passion also. Yes, I can provide for this person's family, which is crazy as a young man. I turned 36 this year, which is crazy to say, but as a 36-year-old, to be able to say that I am helping people provide for their families, I don't take that lightly. That's not something that it's touching, to say the least, man. It's touching to be able to give in that way and to grow in that way. And it means a lot, especially to be able to come back. And my practice it's the city I'm from, so I'm seeing people I went to middle school with, I went to high school with, people's moms that I raised me since I was little. They're coming into my office. And so it's more than just the business. It's more than just dentistry. I'm touching people I know, people I love, people that love the people I love. And I have, dental students from Meharry, from Tufts, from Baltimore that come and visit my practice when they're on spring break, when they're on Christmas break. And to be able to have these same conversations with them, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the terrible stuff, and just be, real about the experience and, extend that olive branch. Like, hey, if you want to come back to South Florida, you could have a home here. It could be a place where you grow, and I'm not going to stifle your growth. I'll give you the game that I am learning and help you and connect you with Mr. Cunningham and get you the financing and start your own. And I think that's the lasting effect. It's not going to be the dentistry. It's the connections made. It's the businesses built. It's the people you touch.
Definitely. And again, another symmetry in what you guys are saying as far as impacting the community and watching and just the betterment of our community. And definitely grateful for you guys and your vision. And definitely community will continue to support you too. We just want to open up the floor and also give a shout out to Dillard High School and also the greatest high school in Broward County, Boyd Anderson High School. If you're out there, BA Cobras, let's go. But if any students are on the line, we'll love to hear from you as far as questions, as well as other audience members. We just want to encourage, let's go. Okay, BA in the house. Just want to encourage the young ones to give questions. But if you have any other questions in the audience, go ahead and raise your hand or speak up.
I do have a comment while you wait on that. And a lot of folks don't know this, but during this pandemic, when there's a crisis, there's always creativity. And in the dentistry field with Dr. Atkins, what he's saying is that he's probably seen an increase in people wanting to come because of the Zoom, because of the virtual meetings. Everybody wants to flash that smile. Everybody wants to splash all 32s because now it's been quick. I don't know, but has that been an impact? Has it impacted your business, Doc?
Yes, it has. I'm reluctant to say that it's all positive, but we did have a mad rush, like when things were shut down entirely back in, what was that, March, May, June, July of 2020. For my industry, we weren't essential, so I was only allowed to see emergency patients, which as a new business owner, to be told that you can't make any money is terrifying. But immediately after we opened back up, there was a mad rush in the office. Of people looking to get back in, looking to connect with us. And it's kind of been, ebbing and flowing since then. And I'm not sure why, there is a lot of popularity in dentistry right now, in cosmetic dentistry right now. And I think a lot of that has to do with the hip hop industry, quite honestly, and people looking to do veneers and cosmetic dentistry and all that type of stuff. So it's had a lot more people reaching out to us. So it's my place to educate. Not everyone needs veneers. My place to educate and be honest with people and give them their options and let them decide from there.
All right. So we do have a question from Miss Dean from Boyd Anderson High School. And we do have some students in the audience. Hello, fellow Cobras. I see you guys. She wants to ask if there was a piece on work ethic or strategy or any element students can begin developing in high school to prepare them for entrepreneurship. And as far as context, it says, often I've heard youth use entrepreneurship as an excuse to render high school curriculum irrelevant. So what can the youth do while they are in high school, whether in the classroom or outside the classroom, to develop those skills to be an entrepreneur?
What I did, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sure.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
I was having this conversation with someone the other day about the relevancy of, prerequisites in high school and college and stuff. And I will say that for the people that are in high school that want to be an entrepreneur, that you can't do one without the other, in the sense that you can start now with your vision, with your goals, with what it is that you want to do, and that may change. But business isn't all about doing what you want to do. Not. I was off today, but I was working the majority of the day. A lot of stuff in high school you may not want to do, but you need to do it, and you need to do it damn well. Because as an entrepreneur, to be successful, there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to do that you don't want to do, but you better do it, and you better do it well. And to make those connections, speaking to people, as I said before, whatever your market is, what do they want? What do they want? Because you can want whatever you want, but that's not necessarily what people are going to buy. What is it that people want? What are they looking for? And being willing to make the sacrifices necessary to, make that happen.
And I'll piggyback on that. I mean, as a young person, you have with technology, you have an ability with your phone, with this handheld computer, to generate income passively. But back in the day, I had a lawnmower, and I go around cutting grass. You'd be amazed, what you can make, and it turned into something. We shovel snow. At this point, I know some kids that are sneakerheads. Everybody's, brokering. Exactly. I'm an old school sneakerhead, so I wear the Converses. But if you look at any trends in social media, there's a lot of things, even in looking at technology, coding, particularly as it relates to, current cryptocurrency, for all that is available to folks right now, where you're going to see a transfer of wealth, and from a technology standpoint, and it's going to scale really quickly. It's not a traditional, the way we were doing it years ago, it's changed. And so and then lock into a mentor that's a business owner, find someone that you admire, that someone that, that's someone I admire. There's a quality about that person that I admire. And ask them, would you mind mentoring me? Could you spend maybe an hour a week or 15 minutes? Can we just keep in touch? I want to learn more about it. And we'd be more helpful. I mean, I've done it before and I've done it myself and reached out. I still have mentors. So I would encourage you to reach out if there's something that you want to explore.
Those definitely great responses. And we have in our audience, Coach Mo has her hand up. It's one of the.
I just wanted to add one thing when we're speaking about the youth as it relates to them seeing entrepreneurship is so easy and not needing the curriculum that they're being given in high school. I like to encourage a lot of our high schools, and it takes the teachers. You all have to bring us out to teach business acumen. You have to bring us out so we can have business boot camp sessions at the school. That's the only place we can really get the audience. I tell people all the time, I see parents drop kids off at the football practice, but if we throw a youth business entrepreneurship workshop in the community, no one shows up. So when we're thinking about our schools, sometimes we have to come to them and we have to be invited in. So I think the more we educate the youth on how business works, how to actually start a business, how you have to understand KPIs, how you have to understand marketing strategies, how you're going to have to know how to do percentages, et cetera. It will help them get the idea that some people that they see on social media that have made it have a luck component, or they also have a pass down of generational network and assets component, but that doesn't work for everyone. So for the people that have to really get out there and grind, like it sounds like Mr. Cunningham and Dr. Adkins had to do, they have to be taught that this is real. This isn't you're going to go on YouTube and become, get 1 million subscribers and get this paycheck and then not know what to do with your money. So I think for high schoolers, please invite all the banks, not just Comerica Bank, Bank of America, whoever the banks are that are around your school, reach out to their CRA officer and invite them in to do workshops to teach the youth at the school level about business.
And to touch on that point, have to have a major shout out to Mrs. Shahiwa Jarrett Gellin, the founder and president of the Black Broward Chamber, and the work that she has done to facilitate programs like Junior Achievement, which does go into these high schools and introduce them to business owners and other things as well. But even us as a community, we have to make ourselves more tangible. And to speak on the point of Coach Mo about the football field, like no matter what high school you go to, everybody knows what football player went there. Well, we don't know what business owner went there, what doctor went there, what engineer went there, what politician went there. But we have to make ourselves more tangible in the community. And definitely events like these, where there are high school students in the audience, they are seeing us converse in this manner, definitely opens up that floor. But that's definitely a huge point.
And I'll tell you, if I could comment one time, that I created another business during the pandemic. And if you look at Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, we are in the boating capital of the world. So I started a yacht charter business. And I have got a group of African-American yacht owners from 100 foot all the way down to 42, and just working in the travel and tourism business now. There's a $112 billion business in South Florida. Mm-hmm. And so how can we peel off some of that to be able to take advantage of that? The marine industry, the aerospace industry is craving young Black folks to come in and get that. What I find is that the most successful entrepreneurs have either worked in that business where they're going to start a new business in. They have a higher rate of success. Right now, there's a big demand in engineering, marine engines, aerospace engineering, those types of things. So they've got programs at Sheridan Tech and all those different places that you can get in and find out a career that's unique in this area. The marine industry and the aerospace industry is huge here in South Florida. And that's an area where you can really excel really quickly because we're not prevalent. I mean, that's a predominantly majority industry. And it's always great to see someone that is in that business. And I just found out that the yacht restaurant that I love to go to, YOT, is African American owned, and that, you know, we pull up the boat there all the time. So I want to be able to patronize that. But if you're a young person, find something down here. And that marine industry is, if you get on a boat, you can go international in some of these big yachts.
Yeah. And just 2 points. That's what Mr. Cunningham just said. One great point that we said very casually, you started a business during the pandemic. You know, you're a serial entrepreneur, and just casually, well, the world is panicking, I'm just going to start a business, you know, and that's such a great thing. And then two, again, it's finding that need, you know, so a lot of times our young people are thinking of businesses that pretty much have already been done to death over and over again, you know, so we need to find different industries. I did see in the chat as well from Miss Goldsmith, speaking about a coding boot camp, right? So we talk about technology, we talk about access to technology, access to information. And as the world grows in that space, we definitely need more young people in that space as well. And did see another question from Miss Goldsmith as well. How do you help? And we just want to expound on that. I did see you respond in the chat. But how do you help small businesses working? Well, I'm sorry.
I think she was talking about one young lady, and we created a coding boot camp. She's in technology. I said, well, you know, you're looking for a job. What are you doing? Well, most IT people are contractors. Why don't you start a business? So she started a IT development business. From that, it's grown to the point now she has major contracts. Now she's starting a nonprofit to be able to get young people into technology. So we did a camp, Code to Eat, we call it. And these folks, we did a hackathon that weekend, and they got together, they figured out what they wanted to do. They created a website, and then they presented the website, an e-commerce website, where they were with one young man, his mom was his grandmother, extreme shopper, couponer, and they resell the stuff. So he created a website with a shopping cart in, so now people can pick their products up from her as well. So they've been doing that. Those are the types of things that you know, the impact that's going on down in South Florida.
All right, and we have a question from our president here. What is your biggest challenge doing your entrepreneurship, and how did you overcome it?
Wow, biggest challenge for me, it's coming out of an organization where the services I provided were pretty much free, and manage my time now to balance and say, okay, now I've got to move from employee to employer and a business owner. So now it's billable hours. Now it's billable time. You know, as an attorney, you give them that free consultation. It's so good. I can't give it to you for free all the time. So, you know, making that market change with a lot of folks that I know, that now I'm a business owner. So now my time is, I've got to, you know, look at I'm working for a profit now, not a wage. Yeah. So that is a transition right there, you know. And so it's so good, I shouldn't have to give it for free. Yeah. And so, and showing that there's an ROI on your investment with me. I want to get you some funding. I want to get you something within the first 90 days that we get into this consulting contract.
And Dr. Atkins, any challenges you want to share with us?
I'm in the challenge. I am not in the stage of entrepreneurship where I'm out of the woods. Generally speaking, for a startup dental practice, we're in the red, meaning we're losing money for the first 2 years. I just crossed the 2-year mark. You know, March will be the 3rd year, but adding in a pandemic kind of throws stuff off a little bit. So, you know, my biggest challenge is now. I'm still in the stage where I'm fighting to stay viable in a market where a lot of dental offices have closed as a result of COVID. So I'm in the thick of things, so to speak, you know, which is part of why, you know, I had to reach out to Mr. Cunningham for support. So when it comes to this entrepreneurship thing, I'm not in the stage of entrepreneurship where I'm like, oh, it's all worth it. It's great. We're making all this money. I'm not in that stage of things. I'm in that stage where you take the leap of faith and you're still falling, and you still have that hope and drive and desire that things are going to turn around and you're going to take off. I'm in that side of things. So, you know, when I mentioned earlier having students in the office, I can come from a perspective that's very different than a lot of other people because I'm still in the mud. I'm in the trenches. I'm still fighting tooth and nail to stay viable, to stay open, to grow, and to differentiate myself in a competitive South Florida market where, you know, people have been down here and moved down here all the time. So I'm in the challenge. This is the challenge right here, right now.
Most definitely. And oh yes, Mr. Cunningham.
I will say that Dr. Atkins, your marketing campaigns worked. It got me to your door. So whatever you're doing technology-wise, whatever you're doing, you know, from a marketing standpoint, keep doing that because that special, whatever you guys are doing, that's what I see is the drawing to get folks in the door.
And definitely great responses. And as you wrap up, just want to ask the two panelists one final question. If you were to speak to your 16-year-old self, what would you tell them? You know, keep it brief, and as well, go ahead and shout out your business as well.
Go ahead, Doc.
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. What would I tell my 16-year-old self? I think that I would tell myself to be gentle with myself. I, you know, generally speaking, I'm pretty laid back, but, you know, in this current climate, I feel that my desire to succeed and to continue to grow allows me to be kind of hard on myself sometimes and not appreciate how far I've already come. So I would tell my 16-year-old self to enjoy the easy moments. Enjoy the easy moments because things will change, things will get, you know, more difficult. You know, like I said, I'm in the thick of things still, and I'm, you know, hopeful and prayerful that things are going to end up the way they will and should. As far as shouting out the business, I'm Dr. Anthony Atkins. My practice is Atlas Smiles. We are in Plantation, Florida. We are now open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We are a cutting edge dental practice. We do everything from general cleanings and teeth whitening to implants and smile makeovers. And we're here to serve you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. What would I give my 16-year-old self? Well, understand that at 16, it's all about me. It's all about my social life. It's all about that. I would tell myself that to be different. The very thing that sets you apart puts you ahead. And so that's the uniqueness that we have. We all have that unique proposition. And so, you know, don't be concerned with, you know, your peers and what they're doing and trying to be like them. Be different. Be, you know, have a different swag that it's going to put you ahead. And those things are going to be noticed. You know, have a conversation with adults. You know, be interested in what you're looking to do and explore those things. And you'll be surprised on how people are going to notice that about you. So, like I said, what sets you apart puts you ahead. In terms of business briefings, we are a full service business concierge strategy business. We are located in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, down on Sistrunk in the Midtown building. Businessbriefings.net. And we definitely help you get access to capital. Whatever we can do to help you grow your business, we're here to help you do that. We are your business strategists in the market today.
Definitely. So again, thank you both panelists for participating this evening. Thank you to our our audience and participants and those who asked questions. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Co-America and Coach Mo. We see you, we love you. And with that, we're going to close out. If anyone has any other questions for Mr. Cunningham or Dr. Adkins or myself, or even about the chamber, you can always find the directory on the chamber's website. And also anybody out there who's interested in joining the chamber, go ahead and hop on the chamber website as well as the Black Broward Chamber. And again, thank you everybody for attending and have an amazing night.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Sheila.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Until.
Going to catch their eye. Those 27 million are going to talk about it enough.
Good job, Gary.
No? Amazon Prime?